feel some arms of Charlie.
See, I said
Charlie.
Charlie, yeah.
I'm up over there getting ready. Yes, sir.
Girl, you are so sexy now, yeah. And you really turn me on. I wanna love you, baby, now. Love you till the break of dawn. You blow my mind, oh, I'm so alive. You blow my mind, oh, I'm so alive. Outstanding, oh, girl, you knock me out, oh, exciting. Make me wanna shout, hey, wonder can I love you? Love you till the night and day. I really love the way you make me feel, yeah. And I love you anyway. You blow my mind, baby. I'm so alive with baby. You blow my mind, baby. You blow my mind, baby. Baby, you blow my mind. I'm so alive. You blow my mind. Oh, I'm so alive. Girl, you knock me out, knock me out make me wanna tell, do girl, you love me, girl, you know you really, really knock me up. No, make me wanna tell.
Woo! Thank you for blessing us with that. Oh my God, everybody who's out there watching, I see y'all. Hey, Pastor West. Hey, Sakina. He said he is dressed. Hey, Raven. Thank y'all for joining us for Fancy Friday. Y'all know what it is. We are here the second Friday of every month, and we started Fancy Friday as a response to the pandemic to encourage people to get dressed and feel well during some difficult and challenging times. I'm really excited for our show tonight. We have some amazing guests. As you can see, we have some beautiful sounds from musician and artist Matthew Banks. Thanks for blessing us. We are going to hear a little bit later in the show from entrepreneur, speaker, and advisor, Mr. Michael Waters of Phase One Sports. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are also going to hear very shortly from a good friend of mine, talented musician himself, but he is here because he is a millionaire and going to talk to us about some financial education, Mr. Clarence Gatlin. Welcome. And y'all know Trina Marie, who is our brand ambassador for Solutions of Change, which is a nonprofit where we provide free counseling and therapy services to people who are uninsured or underinsured and cannot afford it. And right now we are actually servicing youth and their families who have experienced trauma. And so we're excited to be here. And we're excited to have her, who is also an amazing board member. Welcome, Trina. Thank you. And our wonderful my co-host, Mr. Whitby, who actually encouraged me to start Fancy Friday in support of Solutions of Change when it was just a fun idea. He made it a movement. It's always good to see you, my friend.
Love you. Good to be here. Good to be seen.
What you wearing tonight, Charles? You know you always show up. You the Chivalry Lives guy. Let us know what's going on.
So obviously it's a custom piece, custom fitted for your boy with the little, paisley interior. Then I'm throwing a sweater, you know what I'm saying? I'm in Atlanta right now. Y'all.
He always somewhere.
I put my business.
Always. So we can say where you're at this week. Because the last time,
because I'm here.
I couldn't say where you was at.
I'm here for a wedding. My boy. So I'm leaving here to go to the bachelor thing. So I'm kind of like dressed up, but like.
So what is this style? Because you usually
take his jacket off and still be flexing, So.
Well, you know what, Charles? While many of you out there know I work in mental health, and starting Fancy Friday was a simple way to promote mental wellness because getting dressed increases our endorphins. It makes us feel good, right? It increases work productivity. But you are the fashion man yourself, and you haven't talked to us recently about what you do. So share with the people out there who you are and what you do.
I hate when like I don't like talk about myself. But all right, so from the fashion perspective, I do men's custom suits, shirts, shoes. Also, it was the Dapper Gentleman because it was strictly for men, and then I branched out to actually servicing women as well. So same thing, custom suits, women's suits, dresses, gowns, etc. So that's what I do. It's real little. Don't worry about it.
Real little.
Real
Get that website. Make sure I posted shivlives.com, or did it change? Yeah, shivlives.com. We'll
Shivliv, no S. Shivliv.com.
Shivliv, L-I-V. Sakina said that boy sharp.
Oh. Thank you. Humble.
Well, without further ado, we are going to go ahead and introduce our first guest. Like I told you, he is my friend and musician. I actually met him at a church. We used to sing on a praise team together. And one thing I love about this man, it used to make me feel a little awkward, but he'd always greet you and be like, "Hey, millionaire." And I'd be like, but I realized you got to speak it, but I'm like, okay, hey, how you doing? Every day is a holiday, like swear to God, consistently in the last 2 years that I've known him, but I appreciate it. So just to give y'all a little background on Clarence, he is a Southern boy. He's from Texas, Beaumont, Texas, that is.
Beaumont, Houston suburb.
And despite some humble beginnings, he actually started his first business in retail right out of high school, had some success there, went on to complete his degree in engineering, and then started working and realized you like being your own boss and having your own financial freedom. You didn't want anyone else having control of your time. And you subscribe to the idea that if you do not have a vision of your own, you'll always be a slave to someone else. And so you knew that working for someone else was not in your purpose in life. And so now you have more than a decade of entrepreneurship. You have produced other millionaires by teaching them a skill to give them financial freedom through Financial Revolution 2.0. And you actually say that you teach people to work smarter and not harder and transform into the best versions of themselves. And this is important. Clarence's purpose in life is to positively impact 1 million lives plus through health and wellness and financial independence, because you want other people to experience, right, traveling in their own freedom. And so welcome to the show, Mr. Gatlin.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here and an honor to be on this platform and this panel with so many incredible people. So thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
No, you're welcome. Look, you got some family on the Facebook. Pastor West says his family is from Beaumont, Texas. Shout out to Pastor Kelsey West.
BMT.
So, first of all, let's talk about what you got on, because you always are flying church as well.
Oh, no. I mean, I can't talk about myself when we got Mr. Charles on the line. I'm sorry, man. I got to give it to my man right there. But I just got on a little suit, custom, but just a little suit. That's all. Just a shirt, a tie, and a little lapel pin. But you know, I can't mess with Mr. Charles. I'm not gonna say too much about my outfit. Charles is the man. All right?
They be
don't
trying. But
let
Charles
me-
be like, you ain't go.
Listen. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all something.
We
You
can't
know,
hear
so
you,
I met
Charles.
Clarence years ago. Me and Clarence have known each other for some years. The first time I met Clarence, we were at a
We
networking
can't
event
hear you, Mr. Whitby.
at Bellagio. Hello?
I can hear.
Oh, okay. I thought Denisha was saying something. Okay, so I met him. And,
All right,
you know,
Will.
I walked in, I was like, you know, I
Do
walked in
charades,
like,
huh?
I'm gonna be
We're
the
gonna do some
cleanest
charades.
dude in the room.
So, well, Clarence, with you being obviously a man who dresses and being a church boy, as well as a successful entrepreneur, what do you think about the phrase "dress for success"? Do you believe in it?
Absolutely. I truly believe presentation is everything. So of course, my philosophy is stay ready so you'll never have to get ready. Can you guys hear me?
Okay, you guys, I turned off the volume on my computer, and
Yeah,
I think
was about to say, Charles was talking, and you
He
just
sure was.
was.
And you cut him straight off like
Hey,
it was
look.
nothing.
I just humbled myself under the mighty hand
Charles,
of
so can you
Denisha.
continue to talk?
I'm so sorry, Boo. I couldn't hear you, so I thought that you was having. Forgive
And
me.
you couldn't hear me when I said I can hear.
Yeah, I
I
heard.
was like, I can hear him too. Like, am I the only one? But you know, this ain't my show, so I'm gonna
It ain't my show either. It ain't my.
Y'all, that's Fancy Friday for y'all. I'm so sorry, please, because you was getting it too.
Charles was talking. I mean, he was full speed ahead, man. Charles,
Right, I was gone.
how did we meet, Charles? I really want to know. How did we meet? A networking
Oh yeah,
event?
okay. So you know, I walked in to the spot. I thought I was gonna be the cleanest dude in the room. I seen this brother walk in with a suit on. I said, wait a minute, hold up. Let me go see what he had the little custom. Okay, let me tell y'all something. See, I wear custom shirts with my initials. Clarence got the full. Listen, let me see a cuff, Clarence. Let me see a cuff. See, he got the full. Yeah, he got the full. Listen, that's what I'm talking. That's what I saw, and I was like, I know this is about something. So we chopped it up, and we kept in contact ever since.
Absolutely.
That's what dressing to do for you. It create connections. You know what I'm saying? Because had he not been that clean, I might have just been like, whoever. You know what I'm saying? But I had to go see who this young man was.
Absolutely. So to follow that up, Miss Denisha, that
I'm
is
still
a
like frazzled.
of course, being ready. All right. So presentation is everything. How you present yourself is very important. So of course, that is a prime example. So yes, ma'am. I always believe stay ready so you'll never have to get ready. So I'm always ready for success.
Amen to that. I love it. So now you have, your own brand, you're a speaker, you're a serial entrepreneur. Tell us about some of your entrepreneur endeavors.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, what I truly believe is intelligent diversification. It is definitely very important to diversify your portfolio today. So, of course, in my experience, I have seen so many people, including my mom. I was raised by a single parent. She did the best that she could, but she gave me some instructions: go to school, get good grades, graduate, and get a good job. So what I decided to do when I went down that path, I did go to college, I graduated, but I found myself in, that group of individuals that I have the college degree, but now I don't have the job. So when I decided to actually become an entrepreneur, getting fired from my last job, I made sure that, of course, I never put one thing, of course, and always invested in one thing. All right. Never put one eggs in, one basket, as we say. I truly believe in diversifying. So my first, of course, entrepreneur journey started off with the clothing and retail store. It was great. And the recession came, had to close that down. I started my own traditional business and it was great. But I found myself, no matter what happens with the world, one income is not enough. And the true definition to wealth is having more assets than liabilities. To keep it simple, assets put money in your pocket, liabilities take money out. So we have to be in a position today where we have more assets coming in than liabilities. And if you look at the average person today, they have 10 or more liabilities, their bills, but the average person only have one asset, which is their job. So I truly believe in diversification. So when I got one avenue starting my traditional business, I learned and gained financial education. Most people today, we want financial freedom, but I'm here to show you and tell you, you cannot have financial freedom without financial education. And this is not taught, in school and by most peers. So with this, you have to learn on how to invest your money. And investing will allow you to have a diversified portfolio if you learn the right education. So intelligent diversification is one thing that I've learned, applied in my portfolio, and definitely teach others how to do.
And you feel free, like I know Michael is very successful. I know Charles, he be having, somebody gonna try to get him for $1 million baby one of these days. So we have some very successful people here. But I heard you say that your first business, went out of business basically due to the recession. And, this pandemic has been a sort of recession for many people. And in fact, finances is one of the biggest reasons that people go into mental health crises and or commit suicide, right? Especially people who are very affluent who lose a lot of money. And a lot of suicides happened during the last recession because people's stocks and finances just, got hit really hard. So what are some of the ways that people can keep a diverse portfolio and or be prepared for times such as a pandemic, or recession, so that they are not as impacted?
Absolutely. Really, number one is expanding outside of the normal. Here today, we all have been taught when we get money, do your best to save money. And that information is old. Here today, when we put our money into a bank account, just giving you some education, the average bank account grows your money 0.05% a year. So if you just take that, if you just look at $1,000 sitting into a bank account, and in that $1,000, if you don't touch it for 10 years, it only grows $5. Like that's it. Like that's all. So we always taught, get the money, save it, or, follow the company or follow your job, put it into the stock market, all of those different investments. But we just seen when COVID hit, the stock market crashed. So now I have a lot of clients that had money saved in the stocks, but now when that market goes down, they're losing everything. So it is very important to get outside of the norm and get more financial education. Find a way that you can be in full control of your finances, not tied to people. That means, of course, in the world, we can earn money 4 different ways. You can either be an employee, there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to depend on your boss and depend on your job to make money. You could be self-employed, but also I have a lot of clients that owns their own traditional business, but when COVID hit, if you don't have, of course, online, and if you don't have customers, you don't get paid. Right. So if your customer don't buy your product or your service, you're out of business. And so what you need to do for your portfolio is find a way on how can I make money from the comfort of my home, from the comfort of my phone, without needing people, without being connected to the stock market. And there's so many different ways to do that, especially in today's time. So once again, just getting more financial education and getting outside of the norm.
Listen, as y'all see, we bring in real experts to y'all on this show to give you really solid, information. Somebody did ask, Clarence, Monica asked if you are a financial planner.
Am I a financial planner? No, ma'am, I'm not a financial planner.
So tell her what you are, though. What is Financial Revolution 2.0?
Absolutely. So pretty much this is what, just a little bit about my journey. Growing up, of course, I was born into poverty, but I knew deep down inside I was destined for prosperity. So what I wanted to do, and I was always taught, was treat people the way I want to be treated. And so when I actually was blessed, to God be the glory, to reach a point in my life last year, to actually now take the time off. I decided this whole entire year to take the time off from my industry and not make no money, not focus on myself. My whole quote and my whole focus right now is impact over income. So I took the year off, and I'm teaching everyone that is actually connected to me or anyone that wants to learn for absolutely free. Now, what do I teach? I teach them on how to multiply their money faster than what the banks are doing. I teach them a skill set, and I teach them on how to do this without recruiting people, without selling anything, on how to have a skill set so you can be in full control of your financial future. So Financial Revolution 2.0 is just a community of individuals that, of course, keeping God first, encouraging one another, and learning a skill set. And I'm setting them up for wealth, not to get rich, to get wealthy. And it's an absolute difference.
What's the difference?
I'm sorry?
What's the difference?
Well, you have a lot of people today, and you have seen it all online, where you have people that make money, they get rich, and they go broke just like that, because that's people that make money, but they don't know what to do with it. So when I actually have individuals in my community that's earning money, now I'm teaching you on how to take this money that you're earning and how to diversify, how to make more assets so you can actually create wealth. Because if you get money and you don't know how to do with it, and all you're doing is spending, the last 3 letters in spend is end. And if you don't know how to circulate money, it will always go to the person that definitely knows what to do with it. So we got to know what to do with the money. Money is energy. So if you don't know where to do it, it's a seed. If you don't know how to plant it and how to make it grow, it will not. All right. So that's what I definitely do.
Vivian share. So really quick, Pastor West, if you still on with us, I messaged you the link privately. Join us, show us your fancy fit, okay? And I want to share for Monica, who asked for a financial planner. There is one called named Jarmika Reese that Trina Marie just shared, and her phone number is 702-860-4949. So I will put that number in the group on the Facebook so that you have that. Now, Vivian Cherry, the name of Clarence's group is Financial Revolution 2.0, right?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
And I have his website. I'll post his website right now, Vivian, so that you can go to it. Now, Vivian also asked Clarence, what are some good home-based businesses?
Some good home-based businesses?
Mm-hmm.
Find a home-based business that you don't need people. That's what I recommend. That's what I recommend. Find something that you can earn money without needing people. Because what's taking place today with COVID and with everything in the world, people are going to be tight with their money. So you never want your money to be tied to people. All right. So find something that you don't need people in order to earn income for yourself. That's what I recommend.
Amen. Look, I went on your website, of course, and you have some great quotes on there. And I just want to share this really quick, and then we're going to hear from Mr. Banks again. But you say you believe that the 2 most important days are the day a person is born and the day they find out why they were born. Why?
Absolutely. So, of course, those are 2 most important, because the day you was born is, of course, why God put you here. Each and every one of us, we're here for a reason. We're here. I mean, out of all of the seeds, the sperms that went through, you made it. Okay. So number 1, you're never a mistake. You was destined to be here. And once you now came here, each and every one of us have a purpose in life. All right. You have a purpose. Why are you here? Why did God place you here? And I truly believe my day was June 22nd, 2011, is when I found out God placed me here to help his people. It's so many people out here today that, of course, they're focused on themselves. And I have actually experienced this when it comes to business, when it comes to the world. You have a lot of people that care about themselves and really not truly helping people. Now, they're all cool online and on the stage, but in real life, they're 2 different people. And I'm probably talking about somebody right now, but I have experienced that, okay? And I really don't like that. So when God really blessed me to a certain point, I really made a decision that I'm going to be that person that I truly needed in my life going through my journey, because a lot of people don't have people to encourage them. And when I was coming up, June 22nd, 2011, the one thing that I needed was to be in the right environment, because you teach what you know, but you reproduce who you are. So who you're around in your environment is very important. Okay. And so being in the right environment, I now have people to encourage me and lift me up to get me to the next level, because it is very important. And of course, Gerda says, if you look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse. But if you look at a man the way that he could be, he becomes what he should be.
Listen.
Hey.
That, of course, is going to get you to the next level and encourage you. These are the people that you got to be around. All right. So, of course, in this purpose day, make sure that you're around the right people. And of course, all of the beautiful people on this panel, This is incredible people to be around. So that's why I'm honored.
Hey, listen, it's offered. That's the offering time. Wait, first of all, where is Matt with the keys? Because
Right, where you have that?
he should have had some chords. Yeah, you get that man some chords.
Oh,
Because he was preaching.
right.
It was amazing. And you know, you have more questions. So you guys who asked Clarence some other questions, I'm gonna need y'all to stick around because we have another dynamic guest who you're gonna have more questions for. But I promise to get your questions answered before this show ends. But as y'all can see, like, yeah, glory. And I will say, when I found out that you and Charles knew each other, I was, you know, not surprised, I just didn't know, but very like, I feel like if somebody knows Charles, if you're in this circle, like, I know I'm in the right place. Let me just say that. So it was definitely confirmation, like you say, to be around people who gonna lift you up and make you feel good. And especially during these trying times, right? We go through so many things, but it really is, you know, your mind is going to get you to where you need to be. So anyways, thank you. Go ahead, co-host. I know you got something to say. My bad.
No, you all good. First of all, no, you trying to butter me. See me trying to butter me up. Yeah, this is a strategy so I fundraise harder. That's what this is about. So, speaking of that, first of all, thank you, Brother Clarence, for sharing your wealth of knowledge. I don't know if you know or not, but I follow you on Instagram. I watch, I hear, and listen to what you have to say. You are very motivational, inspirational, and what I appreciate about Clarence is that it's very sincere. Like everything that he said, as knowing him and being around him, I'm thoroughly convinced. Like without having to know all of his story, that he's very sincere about his purpose and about and very passionate and goes hard for it. So thank you for sharing that. And if you guys, I don't know, Denisha, if you put his information up, but I hope you guys followed him. Very inspirational brother, doing very well for himself and for others. And he got a cute little girl too. He show off on his little page, so you know.
That's my snuggles.
The snuggles.
God be glory. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate you being on and sharing. Speaking of finances, we will go ahead and pivot to offering time. So, you know, one of the things that this is a real fun episode. We've had some very somber episodes. I keep saying episodes, like we got it. Like this is Arsenio Hall. We've had some and I just appreciate this because I think that, you know, during the pandemic, during these times, you have to laugh and you have to have a good time. You have to smile. You have to find things to be grateful for. And, you know, those are things that sometimes people don't know how to manufacture on their own or know where to get it. So I hope that this Zoom and Facebook Live has been a blessing so far to someone. And if so, be a blessing. You know, if it's been a blessing, be a blessing. And so as you can see, Solutions of Change, for those who don't know, is an organization that is providing services, mainly mental health and emotional support services, for individuals who cannot afford of themselves to pay for said services. I have personally had therapy and am a proponent and advocate for therapy, and it's a pretty penny. It's not cheap at all. Some people have like insurance, but your insurance package normally only covers like 5 or some, you know, sessions or so. But Solutions of Change is here for those who have a need and are not able to financially contribute to the services that they need for that need. So we're here to raise money. $5, $500, whatever you can give is very much appreciated. Can you put this back on the screen, please? So people know how to give. So you can Cash App, and the cash tag is Solutions of Change, right? Cash, Solutions of Change, it's in the green. Or you can PayPal. For those who, Cash App is for the millennials. If you owe like me, then you want to use PayPal, or Zelle or something like that. It's solutionsofchange@gmail.com. So once again, anything that you can contribute is a blessing to others. I am going to publicly put a challenge on the spot for this fundraising. Next time, we're going to share testimonies of the people who have been serviced by Solutions of Change. So if you would like to be a part of the testimony service by contributing to someone else's health, we greatly appreciate it. That's my fundraise.
But wait, can you share why too, Charles, why it's so important to be a part of the testimony? The testimonial process?
I mean, I feel like you got that. Like, I feel like it's in your spirit. So I'm gonna let you take that one.
You so good. No, mental health is a very sensitive subject. It's a subject that most people don't want to talk about. And for me, just this year, I've been able to talk about it when it came to like my mom dealing with the mental health. Like my family didn't want to discuss it, but everything we do in life affects our mind. It's spiritual. Like I'm a spiritual person. It's in scripture, talk about holding the mind captive of thoughts. So when we're not able to address it, we can't become who God wants us to be. And that's just how I try to live my life. That's my mission in general. So when you, Clarence, made that quote, or you stated that quote, like Mark Twain, that was my quote for this year. The day you find out why you're here is a day that changed your life forever. And I think leading into that, we go into Mike. That's one of the reasons why I love you, Mike. When we had that conversation and you shared why you started Phase One in the first place, of just your own story, mentally, and just making sure that kids are not in the same situation, and that they have the right tools and resources, so that if they have an opportunity to go to college and get a scholarship, that the one thing that won't prevent them from getting that scholarship is their grades. And I mean, it's a beautiful thing, but it all ties into the mental thing too, because when you look at certain communities and what they think that they can do, and a lot of times it is sports or just as an artist, which is nothing wrong with that. But sometimes they're like, oh, my only hope is this, but then they feel like they can't do it for whatever. It's all mental. Yeah, I mean, we just lost like 12 kids since August in the Clark County School District because of suicide.
Yep.
All of it ties into the whole mental aspect, which is the health aspect, everything. It all ties back to how do we support each other from a mental perspective, and that eradicates the stigma. So to kind of go back to you, Charles, it's all about eradicating the stigma. And the more people that talks about their testimonies or are willing to share their story, and people are looking like, wow, you experienced that too, then it releases that pressure of I have to be perfect, or I have to be presented a certain way for people to take me seriously, or for me to move up in the world, for me to become a doctor or whatever. Just share your story, because you would be surprised. And my philosophy now is, if I could share my story and I touch just one person's life, just one person, and make them or let them realize that there is hope and that they're not by themselves, then it's worth it. So why I'm so passionate too, as such as Charles and Zanisha and everybody else I'm sure too on this panel about Solutions of Change, is that it gives just that. And there's so many different types of therapies out there when it comes to musical therapy. Sometimes it's medication, sometimes it's just being able to talk about it and be encouraged to be able to talk and share your story. So if you have been affected in any kind of way when it comes to like suicide or mental health, anxiety, depression, whatever, especially now, I don't care if, like he said, it's $5, $10, $15, $20, $500, $5,000. Look, you corporation, you want to just go ahead and plant that seed and throw that blessing, because I do believe that it comes back multiplied by 10. Be that person, just go ahead and do it. But Solutions of Change is definitely an organization that we just got another grant that we're going to be able to service more youth. So Please continue to donate and support. 'cause
And we
should
still
change.
need the donations and support
Yes.
because the grants that we currently have are only for youth, right? And we want to make sure we serve more and we're not limited to just one population. So I thank you for that, Trina Marie. And as she mentioned, there are so many different types of therapy. And one of the therapies that is therapeutic and evidence-based is music therapy. So shout out to Donnie Lee, who is normally with us, but we thank him for his commitment and support to Fancy Friday in his absence. But we got Mr. Matt Banks, and I want you to help us get a little bit of energy so that when we come back, we can talk to Mr. Waters about phase 1 and how physical health impacts mental health.
All right. How's everybody?
Great.
Fantastic. Outstanding.
Holiday.
Outstanding.
Outstanding, right? Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir and folks dressed out like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe there help to make the season right. Tiny tots with their eyes on the glow will find it hard to sleep tonight. Yeah. They know that Santa's on his way. Yeah. There'll be lots of toys and goodies on the sleigh. Yeah. And every mother's child is gonna aspire to see a reindeer, really know just how to fly. Whoa, I know I am offering this simple phrase from kids from 1 to 92. Oh, although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. They know that Santa's on his way now. There'll be lots of toys and goodies on this land. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see a reindeer really know just how to fly. Whoa. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you.
Boy,
Boy,
good.
good.
That boy good.
That boy good.
That boy good. Somebody ought to put $100 in the offering bucket. That's right.
Woo!
I got lost in that thing, boy.
Well,
I was gonna ask you if you were a musician because you
I
was feeling
thought I
all the
could
rims
sing.
and runs, Mike.
Hey, I was about to unmute myself and mess up everything. Come in with my vocals, boy, change the whole situation.
Hey,
Change
same,
the whole-
same,
I
bro,
got you.
same. Because I was feeling it, but I was like, I'm gonna ruin it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
You didn't do it when the jam come on. You sing it louder than the person that's singing it. You know.
Man.
Right.
I was
Man,
on-
you just gonna come on and do
It's
us
crazy.
like that?
Go ahead, Denisha.
I was just saying, Matt just gonna come on and do us like that.
I know. It is awesome because I keep forgetting that it's Christmas time. Like it's so, COVID is such a neutralizer that it's like I keep forgetting. It's like it's
You'd
December.
be like, oh, there is a Christmas, isn't it?
Right. Christmas is 2 weeks from today. Like
Right.
2 weeks from today. That's crazy.
And I was gonna say, if anybody has not been feeling Christmas, that
Yeah.
put me in the mood. And
I'm
then
about,
Trina Marie,
I'm about to watch this Christmas after that.
and then Trina Marie gonna go get her husband, so she got somebody to listen to the
Oh,
Christmas
I see
songs.
you.
Right.
While we
Slow
all
dancing.
sit.
Look, he has no choice. I put the Christmas music on in this house. He has no choice.
She put up several trees.
Several trees.
Had to get in the Christmas spirit.
I ain't
Great
mad.
to see you, Rich.
She even got candles smelling like Christmas trees.
I'm about to go buy some Christmas candles.
Well, really quick, y'all. Matt actually is he's a singer, he's a musician, and he's an artist. And you have a new single coming out in January, Matt, don't you?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. Who are you, really quick?
Okay, so as you see, my name is Matt Banks. I've been here since about 2002. I'm releasing this single that really deals and speaks with where we are today. Really because there's a lot of people going through a lot of different things, death, famine, and we're believing God to bring us out of the situation, to make everything better. So the song is called Already. It's called Owayana, which is inspiration in Kenyan. But yeah, Owayana is the name of the song, but already in parentheses. So whatever it is that you need from God, I'm just trying to give you the message that it's already done. It's already just, you just gotta act like it's there. It's there.
Yeah.
You should do the remix is like, oh Yana. Oh Yana.
So my niece loves that song, and she would be like, "TT, play," and I was like, "What is?" I hadn't heard it because, anyways, I was like, "What is this song?" Because she was saying Joe Nana, and I was like, "What is Joe Nana?" Shout out to my.
It's kind of like I haven't heard that, but the song kind of goes, "Oh Ayana, already, oh Ayana." That's like the tag of it. It's really good.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, y'all make sure y'all check, keep on the lookout for his single. You can find him on Instagram at
Destiny Chaser 1.
Destiny Chaser 1, and you can
Instagram.
book him via Instagram and or Facebook. Reach out to him, Matthew Banks. We want to thank you for lending your talents and your time and making us feel like Christmas. And actually, one of the reasons why we're talking about finances and fitness is because those are the things that really impact people oftentimes during the holidays, right? Everybody want to be in shape, or we struggle with, finding nutritious things to eat, or sticking with whatever our health and nutrition fitness goals are, as well as finances. And so I thank you for bringing us back to why we're talking about this for December. And that being said, I mean, you've been sitting over there so patiently, Mr. Waters, but we just want to welcome you, dynamic man, to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm pretty patient and chill, so I'm just enjoying it. And hey, I'm in the audience. Look at it like that. I'm just watching and enjoying the music. I mean, I got some notes from Clarence. So, I mean, we just on point. So I'm all good. I'm just sitting back. I see Rich just jumped in, my guy. Shout out to him, man. Good to see you. But I'm just excited to be on. So I'm good to go.
Well, we're thankful to have you. Listen, y'all, if y'all out there watching, Michael Waters is one of the co-owners of Phase One Sports, which he started over 17 years ago. And I got a chance to speak to you, and you were sharing just how your business has grown, because at first it was something you were doing, out of love and passion because you love football, and you started training at parks and in fields. And then all of a sudden, I wouldn't say all of a sudden, but now you have grown into a very successful organization where you're training athletes. You have multiple locations in multiple states. You offer products, services. You're going to be adding on some dance, fitness, and stuff for the women soon. Like, you are just doing it. And even when I spoke to you, I was like, I need to talk to him. Like, you have it down. I'm just excited to have you, but I want people to know what, that for over 17 years, you have trained and mentored hundreds of athletes in every area, from classes, personal training, sports-specific skills training, nutrition coaching, competition prep, team camps, combines, recruiting services. You guys are amazing. Y'all got to go check out the website. I was like, they offer a lot of services, but one thing that's important is that at Phase One, you performance train to make people the best athletes on the field or court, athlete recovery programs to keep you healthy, and nutrition and supplements to fuel performance. And so, I mean, I love your mission. We'll share that a little bit later, but I just want to welcome you to the show again.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I'm having a great time.
So, one of the things when you were sharing your story was like your motivation, right, to finish school and be successful was because of your love for football. And I found that, very intriguing, because motivation is a big reason, right, why people may give up hope, whether that's on a goal or even life, right? So for football being your motivation to strive and achieve the level of success that you have now, share with us a little bit about that. And while I know we don't want to promote sports as the only right option for our Black people just because of how oppression has funneled them through that. However, I love that that's what kept you motivated, and now look where you are, a successful entrepreneur. So I think that understanding that if it's your passion and your gift, and if it's what you have, you utilize that to the max to make other avenues for yourself. And I think that's an important takeaway. So anyways, tell us a little bit about it.
No, I mean, that's exactly it. And just to kind of dive right into it, my concept is this. So especially young inner city kids that remind me of me when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, we have a passion for sports. It's the nature of the environment, the area, the circumstances, the people that we looked up to were the athletes, we're watching sports on TV. So it's just a natural thing for a young athlete, especially when there's not a lot of positivity to grab onto, you kind of reach. And so when you reach, you see the LeBrons, you see all the guys, and so you just inspire to be that. Now, the difference is a lot of people will start to push young people away from that. Hey, you need a plan B, you need this, you need that. And I understand that theory based on a percentage, based on numbers, based on how many people actually go to the NFL, NBA. So I agree. However, here's the gap. The gap is this: if I'm pushing these young people away from it, but I'm pushing them to something they're not passionate about, I lose them completely. So my mission is this: when I get a, 10-year-old, I want to go to the NFL. Perfect. Because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach you discipline. I'm going to teach you work ethic. I'm going to teach you how important your grades are. I'm going to teach you how important it is to be able to sit down and study. And then we're going to do that from 10 to 17. And then you're going to get a scholarship, ideally, which a lot of our students do, some don't. But ultimately, now you're going to be prepared to go off to college, probably even play that sport. Now, here's the cool thing. By your junior year of college, you start to wake up and realize, okay, this sport's almost over. So if I don't have the chance to go pro, now I got to start thinking about the quote unquote real world. So the next light bulb that comes on is I'm already prepared for that because of what I learned through sports.
Yes.
So I tell people my whole drive and the discipline and what I've had in my business ventures. You know, I have multiple businesses and stuff that I do right now. So how I got there was by using the same principles that made me a Division I athlete. You know, I'm up when nobody else wants to get up. You know, I'm still training hard every single day. You would think I was getting ready for the football season, but I'm just training because of the mental part that comes with being in great health and great shape. So I'm using the same principles. And it took me until my junior year at UNLV, because I played football here. It took me to my junior year to wake up and go, how did I get here? And the reason I asked that question is because being from Southern California, it was literally $20 and a 4-hour drive to get me home. So what would happen is I would go home every chance I get, and then I would see like my boys. I would see, you know, my older brother who was very heavy into drug dealing and that side of it. I would see some of my close friends that are now just, you know, getting high and doing nothing. And so every time I would come back to Vegas, I would just come back with a different mindset. Like, how did I get here? I'm thinking about finishing school. I'm thinking about starting a business. You know what I mean? You know, I'm working on credit score. Like my mind is totally different. How did I get here? And the common denominator is football, period. And I'll tell you how I know that. All through high school, hated the academic portion. I literally had a 2.2 GPA. And the reason I had a 2.2 is because you needed a 2.0 to be eligible. And all I cared about was that I could play on Friday night. Nobody set me down, talked about core classes, SAT, ACT, sliding scale. No one talked about that. It was just how many touchdowns did you score Friday night? And if you drop under a 2.0, guess what? You can't play. So 2.2. So I hated it throughout the process. Then after high school, I literally went to a junior college because that's how you continue to play. Not to go get a degree, but to continue to play. And then I got my 2-year AA degree. And then, of course, I knew at that 2-year junior college to go D1, I had to finish that AA degree and be ready to transfer to a D1. And I went through that entire process off the love of football. And then woke up one day and went, I'm ready. I'm ready for anything that I want to do because of that experience and that process. So ultimately, at that moment, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to grab young people. I wanted to get into their mind when they were young, when they love whatever they love. And I just wanted to grab that energy and just channel it. And right now, the reward for me is when I have athletes that's done with college, you know, starting a family, and they walk in and give me a hug and they like, man, I get it. It never was about basketball. It never was about football. That's just what you made it seem like. It was like, you were teaching me everything else that's making me be a great father, making me want to start my own business. That's what we've been teaching. So phase one is really passion more than anything. It's passion and purpose.
When athletes come to you, are they, you know, already groomed athletes? And I guess what I'm trying to get at with this question is, how do you, I understand, right, the skills that's being taught even before people understand. And, you know, I work in behavior intervention, and we teach skills and people don't have to have understanding. I just need you to do it. And later on, you advance into understanding. But I guess what I want to know is, how do you channel that motivation or prepare some who may be unmotivated mentally? How do you get them to that place?
Yep. And the biggest thing is number one is communication. A lot of, you know, people in our industry don't really take the time to communicate with these young people. Young people are very creative, man. They have their thinking patterns, they have their process. And then, not to mention, which I'm sure you've experienced, we don't know their background. We don't know what that home life, we don't know what happened when they were 3, 4, or 5. We have no clue. So all we can do is really talk and try to listen and absorb what they tell us. And so what I do is, when an athlete comes in, I try to dig deep as I can. And then I try to have them communicate with me what their mission is. What's your goal? What do you want to do? Okay, I understand that. And that's rough, man. I mean, You know, I understand growing up without your father, but I mean, how do you want to change that? What's next? And you start to see their face like, yeah, you're right. What is next? Not how long could I stay in this negative emotion, but how soon could I actually get through it?
So
And
you
Absolutely.
I was
Yeah.
going to say too, so you agree that sports is therapy?
It is 100%. Sports and fitness training, all of it is literally in my personal experience and what I've seen for 17 years, it is therapy. I know people that walk in the gym just to release, period. They don't care about abs. They don't care about none of that. I just need to release. I need to come in and have an hour for me. And that's what the gym provides. And obviously health is a part of it, you know? So yeah, it all factors together. So yeah, that's great.
Well, you know, it's so funny. I was very irritable and I have been back working out, you know, what's consistent for me, like 3 days a week. But I've been doing this for like the last, you know, few months, and I had not worked out in a week, and I was very irritable on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I'm not like that kind of person. I was like, man, and I literally was like, I just need to go to the gym. And I went and just did 20 minutes.
That's it.
And I felt better. And then I got up this morning at 4:30 and went. But, you know, it's those things. And even for us, right, we do rehab services where we're in the home, in the community. And one of the things we first do is, right, look at diet, look at sleep patterns, and look at physical activity to kind of control for some of the behavior and or mental illnesses we see. Because when you have an outlet for your anxiety, your anger, your stress, your depression, the distraction, you know, it helps you. I'm very excited. So listen, you also do nutrition, and it is holiday time. So I want to ask you, you know, what are some tips that you have for people to keep their nutrition, you know, intact for their mental health and or fitness during this time?
People like me who like to eat.
Yes.
All us Southern folks.
You as well, my brother. Come on now.
So first of all, don't eat, not just plan. So they're like, dang, that's it. No, but
Christmas fasting, everybody.
yeah, right, everyone's on a fast. It's spiritual fast. Let it go. But a couple tricks, a couple things that I've learned over the years that I share with my clients. So number one, when you do plan like those big feasts, the Christmas dinner, we just had Thanksgiving a couple weeks ago. When you plan those, plan them as a part of your week and lead up to that moment by basically eating a little bit cleaner, a little bit less, a little bit healthier leading up. So now you have less of a deficit when you go sit down to have that big Christmas dinner or whatever it may be. And here's why that works. Typically, like, let's just use Thanksgiving, for example. We know it's Thursday, but what happens is by that previous Friday, Saturday, we're already in Thanksgiving mode. And so we're already picking and eating a little bit more and trying this, trying that whole week. And then Thursday, we just finish it with a massive meal. And then Friday and Saturday is leftovers. So now we look and it's like, and just time, you know, kind of passes. And now all of a sudden you're like, man, I didn't even realize I've gained 10 pounds this year. I've gained 12 pounds, whatever it may be. So I like to just be a little bit more strategic. And the cool part is, so if you do it right, there's people that if they're around me on a daily, they're like, yep, gym owner, phase one, fitness guy. But then you catch me on the right Saturday when I've already planned, you be like, it is no way you eat like this. It is no way that you eat that much. But the reason is because I'm able to channel it, control it, and then pick my spots that I want to go all in and eat everything. So it's okay.
I just wanted to show this picture because when you
Hey,
said you trained just
that's you ripped up like that, boy.
Yeah, man, I'm sitting on that.
Boy, ripped up like that, boy.
Look at you, Charles. You over there, look. I was like, wait a minute. Do my abs look like that? Do my abs look like that? I don't know. Do my abs look like that?
I was in college.
Boy, swole, man.
Yeah, that's where we at, man. We just, you know, keeping it right. It's a lifestyle.
Look, Mike, when you said you trained just as hard as the athletes, you think you had a competition, that picture popped in my head. I was like, I got to show that he is proof of his product, okay, and service.
I might come holler at you. I mean, I ain't trying to get that.
Wait. You also taught me don't put stuff in your cabinet, in your pantry that you know you shouldn't be eating.
The two most important times in your nutritional health is when you go shopping. So just a quick tip, if you don't know it already, never go shopping on an empty stomach. Mm-hmm. Always eat a big meal and then go shop. Because by now you're going to pick what you need versus what you want. And that changes it. Because like Trina was just saying, my big thing is I try not to have it available because I'm worse. I'm worse than anybody. Like if it's Oreos in the cabinet, I will eat Oreos until they're gone. Like I'm talking about one night straight through.
Same.
So the rule is don't buy Oreos. So that way you don't have to worry about it. So reality is, to me, that's one of the biggest ones. The second most important time that I feel, especially if you're like us, entrepreneurs, meetings, lunch meetings, dinner meetings, the second most important time is the minute that you sit down at a restaurant or a place and you open the menu. Literally, I try to make my decision in the first 1 minute. I go right to that section, the chicken with the whatever salad, the seafood salad. I go right there and I close it.
Mike, that's new.
Because here's what happens. The more you're in it, oh, that sounds good. That sounds good too. What you getting? Oh, you getting that? Oh, damn, I was thinking about that. Now you done ordered 2 extra appetizers, a whole nother meal, and none of it gonna make sense the next morning when you wake up.
That's our problem.
So I literally get it done, close it, push it away, and lean back and let everybody else. What about me?
Exactly. Like, my mind made up. That's it, right?
And don't get me wrong. The reason I said it's an important minute is because you gonna want to waver. Every time I'm like, ooh, let me see. Nope. So the discipline comes in that minute, and then when you order, the crazy part is you never regret it after that. You only feel it in that moment. You've never got up from a healthy meal and went, man, I knew I should have got the gravy. You never do. so
that's a good one. I never heard. I'm gonna think about that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, 1 minute.
That's a great. Now, Clarence, you're also into health and wellness, right?
I mean, once again, when you got Mike on the line, I just do.
Look, he's like, I'm gonna fall back.
Exactly. I got Charles in the dressing, and I got Michael in the
He's like, wait a minute.
You know, I just do it just a little bit better. I try to eat better, you know, live my supplements, you know.
I'm
that's
just
all.
dabbling in it.
No, ma'am, that's not my lane. That's not my lane.
Clarence, I'm gonna tell you like this. I do the same thing on the financial side. I do my little research. I do my little diversification. I do my little thing, but I definitely ain't on that level. But I'm doing it, and I'm taking care of my future.
Absolutely.
Same thing.
I think this is a very good point. In order to keep your mental health, you need to stay in your lane. You know what I'm saying? We all got lanes.
And be okay with it. And be okay with staying in your lane. Be okay with it. Don't compare yourself. Just stay in your lane and ask for help with the person who's the expert.
Be the best.
Absolutely.
Bada boom, bada bing.
I mean, I love it. And that's how you are successful in what you do. So when you talk about passion, right, or purpose, Clarence, right, you find what you're passionate about and what your purpose for, you go for that. And there's nothing that can stop you. And so, Michael, I love that you just talk about just that discipline. So like you're saying, don't go shopping on an empty stomach, because we hear all the time, right? Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. And so it's those small things that we can do to not set ourselves up for failure, but rather success in those moments. And that goes in line with finances and other things. And the reason why I just love the idea of, right, these skills and these characteristics is because if I master it in one area, then I can slowly try to transfer it into other areas of my life. Like I'm at a point in my business where I can't afford to not be tired. I can't afford to be tired and lethargic. I'm like, I got to do these green smoothies because I know that, you know, I have too many things going on. And if you want to reach that height of success, and not just like success financially, but self-actualization, right? And that's what Maslow talks about in these hierarchy of needs. And that's really like achieving your life's purpose and being altruistic and giving back the way that like we all are doing. But to do that at a capacity where you're still feeding yourself, right? You have to make sure you're taking care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, like, yeah.
Yeah, because you can't use the vocabulary that Denisha just dropped on all of it. Altruistic and self-actualization. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have them nutrients flowing, you can't use the words. You know?
You cannot come up with those words unless your brain is sharp and ready.
One of the things that Solutions of Change actually has done 3 times in the past is a Healing to Health Summit. If y'all can see it up here, and I wasn't even thinking about it till it came, but it talks about how mental, physical, and spiritual health all coincide. And so we, we bring that dialogue of mental health into the faith-based community to understand that. And we do see high rates of obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes amongst our Black, right, faith-based community. So that was one of the missions of Healing to Health that Solutions of Change puts on. And we have a conference for it coming up in March or April. So make sure you guys join, but it's really awesome because people don't like to talk about mental health, but like the first summit was called Stress Out Summit. Everybody feels stressed. So now let's look at how chronic stress, right, leads to mental illness, and when we feel stressed, how we eat, or, ways that we can relieve stress by way of physical exercise and hope, right? I think what I love about your story, and you mentioned like giving these kids something forward thinking, like that's what hope is. And when people get to the point of hopelessness in their depression and worse, right, that's how mental illness onsets and perpetuates and can lead to the worst outcome, which is, a suicide or death, is because people have given up hope that there is nothing better. And having your finances in place helps that. Having your physical health, your mental health, really helps that. And so it's something I'm just passionate about. I'm very excited about tonight's show. I've been enjoying you guys.
Awesome.
So Mike,
I want to say one more thing about the summit, because I attended the first one, because was that the first one with Alvin, the one that AJ
he was
did?
at all of them because he's
so it was
that.
the first. So I was at the first one, and I remember sitting in this audience and just like overwhelmed with fulfillment to see so many people in the faith-based community talk about the need for mental health, because sometimes I think it's a very challenging thing to be a Black person of faith, because we come from people who had nothing, that simply had to believe God for everything, right? So as we have evolved and had more opportunity, the mentality of now we have to take responsibility and accountability for our own well-being, in addition to having faith, that faith is complementary to that process. I was just floored with all the people who had all the things to say, because traditionally, especially in the Black church, has been frowned upon, right? Mm-hmm. Mental health is, the saying is, leave all your problems at the altar, right? Take your problems to Jesus and leave right there. Well, sometimes them problems jump back in your back pocket when you get off the altar. You know what I'm saying? They get in your suit pocket, you ain't know, you thought you let them all go. But what do you do then, and how do you cope? And I think that was actually my bridge personally. So this is a testing. So anybody who's interested in coming, you should come, just because it was my bridge between my faith and my always like thinking that we should be concerned about mental health, but I don't really hear nobody in church talk about it. So it was that bridge that released me to become more passionate about the subject. So I just like to
know that you trying to butter me up. What you trying to get?
I can't get that out you, so I don't know.
No, thank you. It's something that we're really passionate about. And so the same way, having experts such as yourselves on here, giving not just the information, but like tangible tools of what people can do, is so important, because that's what happens, right? People go to the altar and then it's like, okay, how do I do this every day? And so I'm just excited for it. Mike, people can reach you, of course, on Facebook, on Instagram. I want you to talk about what you have coming new, your dance class, because you shared how this is something new with Phase One Sports being a traditionally athletic gym and training program. How does the dance, right? How is that something new for your entrepreneur?
So basically what had happened was a few of my parents, a few of my younger athletes and sisters and family members love Phase One. They've been around Phase One for years. I mean, I have families now where I've worked with 2 or 3 generations of kids. So they kind of got a group together and they asked for a meeting. The meeting was very simple. Why don't you have anything for us? And I was like, okay, well, I mean, it's athlete development, scholarships. They're like, okay, and we need something for us. So I challenged them with, you come up with the concept, you come up with it, I'll support it, and we'll see if it works. And so they came up with like a nice, they call it Family Fit or Phase 1 Family Fit. And the next one will actually be this Saturday at 4 p.m. at Phase 1. And it's free. It's free. You can come in and basically it's like a hip hop dance class, a little bit of exercise mixed in, but it's really for anyone at any level. Literally. I mean, we had, probably, I don't know, 10, 15 in the first one we did last week, and it went great. They had a great time. They dancing, the music loud, laughing, having fun, and not realizing that you just had a great workout while you walk out smiling, because we all know what music does for us. We all know what dancing does for us. And then you put it together and now it becomes a pretty efficient workout. So I'm excited about that because it's something we haven't done because I've been so in that lane of athlete development, but here we are. So that'll be this Saturday at 4 p.m.
What's the address?
7770 Dean Martin Drive. And it's number 307. And that's right here in Vegas, 89139. If you're familiar with the city, we're right off of Blue Diamond and Dean Martin, right next to Hoop City. That's been there for years. Anybody that got any family play basketball, Hoop City, we're basically 2 doors down. So, yep.
And just really quick, we got to go. We're well over time, but because you mentioned Family Fit, and we know that, right, habits are taught and they're passed down. Yes. So it's so important that parents, right, instill these things in nutrition, health, activity, whatever. How do you teach that, or just share how important it is, I guess, for the family unit to be engaged in health and wellness?
No, that's a great point. So just to give you an idea of where I value it, especially with people from our community. Our community struggles more than any other demographic when it comes to health issues that are literally self-imposed. That's the hard part. It's not just the genetic. Everybody wants to say, oh, it's genetics or this runs in my family. A lot of it is running through your meals and through what you're choosing to eat. That's where most of it's running through.
That part.
However, I'm willing to give you your 10% curve on your genetic issue. But so just to give you an example how important it is to me is this. Even with the Family Fit program that we're doing, the only requirement that I incorporated into this program is a 30-minute nutrition seminar that is mandatory for everybody in there. Because if you come in and dance and then you go eat something and don't understand, it's not going to work. So I'd rather teach you some basic habits, basic. I mean, here's, I'll just give you just a quick one. I know we got to get out of here, but here's a quick one. If you go online, you don't even have to pay for no crazy evaluation. If you go online, there's one on bodybuilding.com, a couple different ones you can find a BMR calculator, a basal metabolic rate calculator, BMR calculator. You only have to just put BMR calculator. I promise you'll get 10 choices. So when you do that, you'll put in your age, your height, your weight, your basic information. That's all they need. Hit enter. That number that it's going to produce for you is the amount of calories you burn in a 24-hour period without any activity. So basically just for your body to function, your organs, for everything to just function, if you just sat on the couch for 24 hours, this is how many calories you burn. This is what's going to amaze you. Whatever that number is, that basically is the number that determines if you stay the same, if you're gaining weight, or if you're losing weight in calorie intake. So for example, my number is about 1,700. Every day that I decide to eat 2,500, 3,000 calories, I am literally increasing my fat and gaining weight. Every day that I stay in that 15, 16, 1,700 range, I'm actually tightening up, building new muscle, and my body is going to be functioning better. So just something as simple as knowing that number, and then where you're really going to have fun and be disappointed is when you start looking at menus and looking at calories and understanding that my number, for example, is 1,700. Most women are going to be around that 1,500, 14, somewhere in there. However, if we go as a group to McDonald's and get a number one, we have literally just had 900 calories in one meal, and the number is 14. So if you just had a healthy breakfast, a healthy lunch, and then went to McDonald's and got a number one, you are probably already over by about 800-900 calories, which means you have messed up your entire day. So when you start looking at caloric intake, calories, it helps you make better decisions. You go, man, I didn't realize it had that much. I'm not going to get that. I'm going to get this. And then it goes right back into what I said earlier, better choices.
You just made all the people who felt like they was trying to do something by having a healthy breakfast and lunch say, forget it, because I'm having my McDonald's. I'm just joking.
Hey, and here's what I tell you, and this is me, 'cause I'm different. I'm different than most fitness people. So let me tell you. Here's the thing: if you're gonna have your McDonald's, if you know that McDonald's is 900 calories, your number is 1400. That leaves you how many calories? 500.
5.
So what? All I'm saying is eat 500 or less before you go to McDonald's.
And that was for you, Clarence.
That's all I'm saying.
Can I just make sure we understand this? So the BMR, what does the B stand for again?
Basal, BASAL, basal metabolic rate.
Got it.
Y'all, this is what happens when you have experts on your show. They're full of knowledge and wealth, and you know, we can't ever contain it all into, you know, a short show, and people ask questions and there's so much more because they're so knowledgeable. It's not shallow. So I just want to thank y'all both. Clarence, I just want to let you know, somebody mentioned that earlier. You talked about there are 4 ways to make money, and you said work for somebody else and be self-employed. They said you didn't answer the other 2. So can you answer that really quick?
Absolutely. Of course, you have on. It's called a cash flow quadrant. Look it up by Robert Kiyosaki. He created the cash flow quadrant. This gentleman actually wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. The subtitle is "What the Rich Teach Their Kids That Poor Does Not." All right. And what it does is look for the cash flow quadrant, and it show you the 4 ways that you can actually earn income legally. I know we have some people that, you know, have a different lifestyle legally. Okay?
We all fake people of faith.
No, people on Facebook, not y'all. Okay, I got some sinners on my page. I'm sorry, I come from a different lifestyle. Okay, before God saved me, I still got some people I'm connected to. It's all right.
All sinners now. Come on, look. We all sinners.
So I will tell that to Sakina. Thank you. And I was just making a joke, but you know what's so funny? All of our guests end up, and it's not, I mean, I guess maybe it's who you're associated with on a certain level, but they end up being right, positive, hopeful, faith-based people. And it's not like we only solicit that, but I always feel like God brings the right people here, and even Matt ministering to us with his amazing music. So we're gonna have one more song from him. Let him bless us and say a quick goodbye and head out. Is that cool? Any final thoughts? Any final words?
Yeah, Rich had a question for you, Mike.
I just want to know, Mike, how do you know what a number 1 is at McDonald's?
Because I have programmed myself to look at every number of every item in America. And here's how bad.
So what is a number 1?
A Big Mac meal.
Okay.
Okay. For sure. With a soda and everything. Got it. With Coke. So here's the crazy part. The government is actually now regulating fast food to where they have to post it, because it was real easy for them to just for us to not think about it.
Right. Sure.
Yeah, so now you'll start noticing it on all your menus. It'll be like, as a meal, $8.90. As just a sandwich, $4.50. Like, it'll actually have the breakdown on there, and that's basically regulated. That wasn't McDonald's trying to look out for our health. That was the government saying, we're gonna try to help a little bit. But yeah, so good stuff. Good question.
They try to look out for your health because that sugar and stuff is addictive, right? But that's a whole nother issue, right? That's a whole nother mental illness. So I want to thank you again. Why is mental health important to you?
I mean, for me, it's really the basis of everything. I think a lot of people will never reach their full potential until they really start to become the person that they need to be. And I think we have a lot of barriers and a lot of roadblocks. And I think the better you are at mental health, or the more people like yourself that can pour into you, the more you're going to open up and release that. So that's my thoughts.
Thank you. What about for you, Clarence?
Just like what Michael said, it's the beginning point. In everything, you have to understand, when the way that your body moves and everything moves, it starts with the thought. And of course, your thoughts come from your mental standpoint. Of course, Solomon, who was the richest and the wisest man to live, he says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you can control your thoughts, you can control who you are. And so that's why mental health is most important.
Listen, I'm full. I thank y'all. I'm so blessed. People stayed on, so that shows how quality and needed this show is. I'm gonna ask you, Matt, to bless us one last time with your talents. And Charles, if you left, it's okay. We got Trina Marie here to anchor us. Matt, you ready?
I'm ready.
What are you about to play?
There's a song that was written by, well, not written, but that was sang by the greatest entertainer of all time, singer, Michael Jackson. And it's a song called Human Nature. So I'm going to do that because, you know, mental health is also a part of human nature. It just happens, you know what I'm saying? It goes hand in hand, you know? So
we got to get this nature under subjection, right? That's what we have to do.
Real talk. Mm-hmm. All right. Now I'm looking out across the nighttime, city wings asleep inside. Hear her voice shake my window, sweet seducing sighs. Get me out into the nighttime for a long night. And if this down is just an apple, then let me take a bite. And they say, why? Tell them that it's human nature. Why? Tell me to be that way. And they say, why? Tell them that it's human nature. Why? Tell me to be that way. Reaching out, touch a stranger. Electric eyes are everywhere. Yeah. She that girl, she knows I'm watching. She likes the way I stare. And they say, why? Tell them that it's human nature. Why? Tell me to get away. And they say, why? Tell them that it's human nature. Why? Let's see the way away. I like living this way. I like living this way. Wrong way, wrong way. Reaching out across the morning, the city's heart begins to beat. Reaching out, I touch her shoulder. I'm dreaming of a street, yeah. You say, why? To the practice human nature, why? Let's see the way way. You say, why? The will to love, why? Let's see the way. You say, why? Da 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 da. Why? Let's see the way. You say, why? I did it da 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 da. Why? Let's see the way. I like living this way.
Woo! That is actually like my favorite one of them, but for many years that was my favorite Michael Jackson song. Thank you again, y'all. Make sure y'all cop or look out for Matt's new single coming out in January. What's the name of it again?
Owayana already.
Already. I thank y'all. I mean, this, if you feel full, make sure you share this video. This is why we do Fancy Friday. And this is why we need your support with Solutions of Change, because we want to continue to do this to bring mental health and wellness in so many ways. Therapy, treatment, physical activity, music are some of the ways we do it. And then just having shows like this where we can dialogue and get some practical information and have a great time. I see your beautiful baby girl that came on with you, Clarence.
Loves music, so of course my man Matt just gravitated to the computer. Absolutely, man. You sound incredible, brother. You sound incredible, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I mean, I thank you for your commitment. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed night. Unless Trina Marie, anybody else got anything to say, I will put the stuff for Solutions to Change in the chat, and Clarence's information as well in the chat on Facebook. And if you guys have more questions, just post them on Facebook, and I'll make sure that they get them so you guys get your answers.
So
and I'm sorry.
just a reminder, it's Christmas, and I know a lot of times people like want to know where to give. Solutions of Change is definitely accepting donations. So if you don't want to get out there, it's so easy. solutionsofchange@gmail.com for PayPal, or Solutions of Change for Cash App if you want to donate. And any monetary amount is definitely appreciative.
And we'll see you guys in the new year, second Friday in January. God bless y'all. Have happy holidays. Be
Happy
safe.
holidays.
Take care of yourself.
Be blessed.
Good to see you. Thank y'all. Mwah. God bless you.